have to go on a little bit of a rant. So I just keep hearing that it's Women's History Month, right? And then last month was Black History Month. You guys, stop taking kibbles and bits as if that is reparations, or as if that is equality. If we are equal, then we wouldn't even have to have a Women's or a Black History Month. Like, you want to give us 1 month? Like, I'm supposed to be grateful that you want to acknowledge the power of women for 1 month? Get out of here. That is not the reality that I live in. In my reality, my womanhood is celebrated in every moment of every day. My husband, who's a black man, right? He and his celebration of who he is way beyond just black, by the way, but also, you know, because people have culture and history and genetics that are very much beyond the color, the word, those 5 letters. But also, like, he's who he is every single day. And just because we recognize that for 1 month, because we give a space in society, or we have conversations in 1 month of the day or of the year, like, does not mean that we're doing what we need to do, or we're doing enough. Or, like, if there is true equality, we just wouldn't have to, like, force the conversation. It would just be inherently true that equality existed, or equity, right? That's my rant. Okay, part 2 of my rant. Okay, part 2 of true equity or equality is that you don't have to, like, force the conversations, right? But also, there is an illusion of freedom, and there is the truth of freedom. There is a difference in those two things. There is an illusion of freedom, and there is the truth of freedom. And most everyone in society, unless you are very, very conscious of this, and conscious of the way that the institutions disempower the people, then you're going to be most people are living in the disillusion, or the illusion of freedom, okay? The way that people are in survival mode, barely getting by, you know, like incarceration, all of these things, and poverty and all these things, those things are meticulously and carefully set up by the people in power. That is not freedom, okay? Because they give you a handout, or because they give you funds for whatever, like, public programs, that is not freedom. That is actually, like, just a complicated version of your slavery, like, on the system, right? So, like, oh, well, we need to support, you know, they say, oh, we need to support marginalized people, or how about you just fucking give those people, like, an equal chance? Like, why don't you just stop with the whole, like, felony system, so that those families can get jobs, right? And, like, or start their own businesses, or have some kind of equity in their own family unit of built up funds to have a successful business, or to believe in their capacity to not have to go work a job, because honestly, that again is slavery. Anyways, so the illusion of freedom is a complex, lifelong drama that happens for everyone. And if you want to live in true freedom, follow us, by the way, because we're doing it, we're figuring it out. it's a process. It doesn't mean that we're completely there, but at least we can consciously participate in the matrix, because we know that what we're doing is what is going to get us to, like, that ultimate freedom of, like, you know, being able to have resources not dependent on other people or jobs or whatever. But, and so another thing that I want to say, like, we talk about this freedom stuff in, like, every facet of society. It doesn't matter if you're, like, what color you are, what culture you're from, what, if you're male or female, like, or if you're non-gendered, like, these things are occurring for everyone. I talk about it in the birthing community, where, like, going to the hospital to have a safe birth under the medical system of men and patriarchy, and a system that will just literally cut your baby out of you and pull it out of you because you're under a stress response, and they gave you that is shutting your system down from having a safe birth. Actually, your natural system that has birthed babies for thousands and thousands of years, right? But the male doctor comes in and says, oh, you're not progressing fast enough. I think we need to do a C-section. Oh, your baby's in danger. They create these fake alert systems to move you in a direction of compliance. And then they say, oh, we saved you at the end of it. That is not freedom. That is entrapment. And so the quote that I'm going to leave you with right now is this. Even if you've been given a longer chain, doesn't mean that you're not still on the chain. You know? So if a dog's been good, they might get a longer chain, but they're still on a fucking chain. That's still not freedom. Okay? So I'm saying this with love, but a little bit of fieriness, because it's what you need to hear to wake up. So instead of maybe shutting me off because you think that I'm being too whatever about it, maybe you should be like, damn, maybe she's saying something for real and I need to listen. Because I bet you can feel that you're not free. You know, when you're exhausted at the end of the week because you're working to pay for the bills, to pay for the house, to pay for the fucking expensive food that's fucking garbage, nonetheless, and you don't have time for your, you know, to even love on your husband or your wife or your partner, or you don't have time to love on and cuddle and play with your kids because you're too exhausted. Like, this is the system, right? And they're doing this on purpose. They go after and they make it hard for the family unit to survive and to thrive. Because if the family unit is actually able to function cohesively and successfully and lovingly within themselves and then within the greater community, what the fuck do we need a government for? What would we need a government for if we could manage ourselves? Think about that. If we could take care of ourselves, if there was, you know, if we were able to self-govern our own communities and we had doctors and healers and helpers and you know, construction people, and we could, you know, make our own processes, then what? If we could grow our own food, if we could attend our own births, if we could then what? So I welcome you I invite you into this newfound sense of sovereignty. And people are saying a lot about it, I think, recently, but it goes a lot deeper than a lot of us want to say, especially if you're trapped in this liberal versus conservative paradigm. That's just another elaborate trap. So take a deep breath, because I need to take one too. And we will get through this together. Just join us in community so that we can really cultivate that community and learn to stop fighting with each other and hating each other, so that we can take the power back as a people, because it only takes 10% of the population to do that. But the problem is the people who don't see an issue with what is happening, that don't want to recognize that they're playing a role in supporting our captors. And any time that we choose safe compliance over our freedom, then we're participating in that, and we're allowing that fear to govern us instead of our sovereign selves to govern ourselves. Okay. Have a good day.